The following may contain language and subject matter which is only appropriate for some audiences. But since we're not very discriminatory here, everybody's welcome to listen. All right, everyone, thank you for joining us once again for the Low Fact Podcast.
Oh, very musical.
Is it really?
Yeah, you almost sound like you're going to break into some song.
Oh, I knew a guy that could sing cadence like that. It was really cool. What was I say? Oh, yeah. So today, well, as usual, it's us.
Whoop, whoop.
The three of us. The weirdos. The dumb weirdos.
Speak for yourself. I'm intelligent. He's right.
Anyway, so over the weekend, I was thinking about this whole idea that a certain group of folks have. And instead of like arguing with each of them individually, I'll just come out and say it here. Y'all are all full of shit. And the people that are full of it are the ones that sit there and take the position that if you do something from a position of love, everything is okay.
Oh, that's the whole good intentions thing.
Or like, I'm really compassionate, so I should be X or whatever. And I'm here to say that without having met all of you, or even a decent sampling size, that I'm going to say that a good, solid 85-95% of you are full of crap.
Not all of them?
No, I'm pretty sure that there are folks that do things from a place of good intention and love and whatever.
Oh, so you're saying they're not even compassionate? Really?
No. It's.
Oh, I think there's always a motive, like an alternative motive than just for love and compassion.
Well, even if you have an ulterior motive, it's not necessarily malicious.
To have an alternative motive?
No. But,
it can be, but not
sure,
always.
it can be.
Not always.
Yes, in the Venn diagram of things, just because ulterior is not within malicious. Mm-hmm. But, there are folks that sit there and say that. It's like, oh, if you do something from a place of love, then where can you go wrong? And I was like, you're full of idiocy.
The path to hell is paved with good intentions.
I heard it once that was the road to perdition.
Ooh.
And I like that. Yeah. The road to perdition is paved with good intentions.
Perdition just mean how?
Perdition means self-destruction.
Oh, that's even better.
That's a lot more. I can relate to that a little more.
You're pernicious or self-destructive?
A little bit, maybe.
Pernicious, that's a great word. I might have to use it on somebody this week.
Is it a real word? I don't know.
Doesn't matter. I like it.
I like it.
So it's true.
If we're going back to our last one, since I like what you said,
yeah,
it's truth.
I'm going to be like, you're a pernicious bastard.
That sounds so British.
You're a pernicious bastard?
Pernicious bastard.
It would just mean self-destructive bastard.
I think perdition is like...
No, pernicious is a word, for sure.
I think perdition does mean like self-destruction, self-destructive, hellish. But I just liked it better than the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
So you think if somebody says, I'm a compassionate person, it's the same as like, I'm a spiritual person?
I think, unfortunately...
It's like the same
cup. We're changing subjects and I'm okay to do it, but I think personally that whenever someone self-identifies, that chances are pretty good, 85% of the time, it's incorrect. So if someone says, I'm very self-aware, you can sit there and think, okay, if I meet 100 people, 85 of y'all are...
Self-aware.
85 of you are not.
So if you say, I'm a kind person or I'm a nice person,
then chances are, it's an aspirational thing. Like when I say stuff
but
like...
you could be, though.
Sure, I'm not saying you can't be.
But you're saying...
Chances are you're not. It's an aspiration. Like when I say I'm a good person, I like to think that I am. And,
But you are a good person.
You haven't seen me doing the bad stuff.
Well, yeah, it's true.
I like where this is going.
Listen to you getting all that bass in your voice. You're like, oh.
Are you trying to sound manly again?
I don't know what you're talking about.
he's wanting
Very manly.
he's wanting some confessions to happen that ain't going to happen. But you know, or if someone says I'm intelligent, I'm sitting there going,
I've seen you when you're pissed off at somebody.
yeah,
And you don't give a shit. Like that person will be so uncomfortable, and you don't care.
and you think that is compassionate and good?
No, that is not. But I couldn't do that. I can't do the whole because if I'm making somebody feel uncomfortable, at a certain point, I'm uncomfortable.
Well, I think for me that is compassionate because that's the least amount.
But you wait it out. Like you'll sit there if somebody's messing with you. You'll sit there and do something for a long, extended period of time to the point where shit is just out of control, and you're like quite happy just to sit there and let that discomfort go on, which I cannot do.
Right, because that's the least that I can do.
Right.
So I would consider you a little more compassionate than that.
No, I think that the funny thing is that I think he's a more compassionate person than I am.
Maybe in different scenarios, but in the scenario you just presented, you seem more compassionate because if he's willing to let them be uncomfortable, that means he doesn't really give a shit.
But that's just a personal thing. Like I can't sit with somebody else being uncomfortable.
You have empathy for the other person.
No, it's not about empathy.
No, then why is it that you? What would it matter that they're uncomfortable if you're the one? I
think
He just said he's uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. It's just how I'm wired. The fact that I can't. I always have to have people. It's the whole people like me type deal.
I can
So
understand.
I can't sit there and have someone be out disliking me.
Even if they're being kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Okay, I respect that.
Yeah. So it's
No,
not
I don't
about. I don't think it's about compassion.
So there you have it.
Is that it?
Uncompassionate.
Unless Andy here wants to
Andy
chime in with
must have some
something.
thoughts.
As long as it doesn't have to do with loads, jizz, flatulence, defecation,
Various.
rim jobs.
I don't care if I make you guys uncomfortable.
We're not uncomfortable. That's the funny thing about it.
That's what I like about it. But, no, I'm
Various might be
kind of
right.
like Matt. I do when they start getting uncomfortable. I feel a little bad for them, but it's also from a selfish point. It's because I start getting a little uncomfortable, and I don't know. I guess I'm not as compassionate.
But when somebody says they're compassionate,
but I've never claimed to say I was compassionate.
no, if
I
somebody
don't
else
like to
says
claim.
it, you just take it at face value.
No, I take everything with a grain of salt. Like, I'm compassionate, or like, I'm such a humble person. Like, a humble person wouldn't say they're a humble person. But, alright, I'm just going to let you say that.
So you just kind of let it go.
I let it go because at a certain point, if I press too much...
But what if it's a friend? Like, what if it's a friend or a family member?
Oh, if it's a friend or
and
family
you're like,
member?
will you call them on it and be like, you're full of shit? Or does it depend?
That depends. I wish I could say I call out every family or friend member, but at a certain extent, like, do I want to be perceived as the dick who always calls you out for any little thing?
But what if it was like, okay, let's take a particular scenario. What if there was a family member that was telling everyone how generous they are, and they just sat there and you asked them for money, and they just sat there and said, sorry, I can't.
Are we talking about
money."
Thanksgiving again? Thanksgiving dinner? This sounds so familiar.
But let's say that happened, right?
Yeah.
Like, would you call them out?
Oh.
Or would you not call them out because you're like, you're hoping that they'll give you some money in the future?
Well, that's definitely a possibility. But it depends on who I'm around with. Like if it is at a dinner, I wouldn't want to do it knowing that I could ruin this whole evening by calling this person on their bullshit. Nah, let me stay quiet for a little bit.
So you're pretty agreeable then. You're all about being agreeable.
Not every time. I just have to take every scenario into consideration. I don't want to fuck up everybody's good time knowing that one person will get mad.
See, I've observed you in a work situation, and I feel like you're pretty get along.
Yeah,
agreeable
I very much
in a work scenario.
I don't like to ruin.
You're not outspoken.
I don't like to ruin a moment. Yeah. When I am outspoken, it's usually just because I want to make people like giggle a little bit, but most people understand that.
Okay, well, I think that's cool.
All right, thanks for tuning in to Low Fat Podcast. You can find us on YouTube. Just search Low Fact. You can also find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Low Fat Podcast. If you want to chat to us, send us some comments, or have us talk about some things, just send an email to lowfatpodcast@gmail.com. You can also follow us on our Twitter and Instagram pages at Low Fat Podcast. And also check out Andy's pages where he mixes our beats, Twitter and Instagram at Fantasy Beat, and you can also find his wicked ass shit on SoundCloud at Artificial Fantasy.